Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Enrique and this is Enzyme TV. If you've seen my videos in the past, you've seen me draw the monsters of our nightmare, the heroes of our fantasies, the creatures of our past, and the creations of the future. Now we're going to add another drawing subject today, a modern monster that we know as the tiger.
Okay, so a tiger might not seem as mystical or fantastic as a dragon or a samurai, but just because something exists in our current reality doesn't make it any less awesome. Think of all the curiosity, weirdness, and evil scheming that makes up the brain of your house cat. And imagine if you took that brain and put it in a 490-pound tiger with a bite force of 1,050 pounds per square inch. That's basically the Bengal tiger. And besides, who wouldn't want to draw those psychedelic stripes? We'll make a stick figure frame of a tiger for this video's example. Examine how everything is held together by the spine. The rib cage and pelvis sit on the same plane horizontally. Notice how the front of the body carries 2/3 of the weight of the whole animal. It might sound stupid, but take a mental note of what distinguishes a tiger skeleton from the human one. The femur is kept at an angle much closer to the body. For example, the joints and pivot points all work a little differently. The skeleton tiger in this drawing is named Tony. Tony's spine is actually convex, but it looks concave because of these things cats have called dorsal spines, which start behind the shoulder. His clavicle or collarbone is majorly reduced compared to a human. This gives a scapula, which rises above the spine, a better range of motion. While Tony here is a good model, it's important for you to use photographs and videos of real tigers. We can infer from these details that a tiger's bone anatomy is structured for quick and easy forward motion, but it's still important for you to see this motion in different stages. Predatorial animals tend to have a smaller waist and more flexible spine than herbivores. The head is held lower to the ground than most prey animals. The neck tends to be shorter and thicker. This evolved over time to kill prey animals by biting their throat and choking them. A tough neck is needed to hold down prey as it fights for its life. The hands of a tiger have a radius and an ulna. This is so they can turn their hands to a degree. They are built for grabbing and pulling something in. Here's a practice exercise that anyone with a printer can do. Print out pictures of some actual tigers and use a thin sheet of paper to trace out the pivot points of the animals. Creating an army of these pipe figures in different poses will help you remember the tiger's range of motion. If you're feeling the need of a refresher course on big cat muscle anatomy, I went over a lot of it in the dragon video. I'm going to start with a drawing of Bony Tony's wife, Tina. Her face is going to be looking right at us. I etch out the general skull shape, and this establishes a structural base so that Tina's head won't look like a stuffed animal you slept on. I draw in where I want the eyes to be placed, and then I find the muzzle area. I draw my cat heads like Marty McFly Jr. wears his pants in Back to the Future 2, inside out. So, I need to think about the tiger's skull before I think about anything else. The skull shape can fit into a box. Thinking of the head in boxes and shapes will make everything much easier. His muzzle comes out, but nowhere near as far as a wolf, and has a rounder quality to it than a wolf's as well. His eyes are in front of his skull for hunting prey. When you look at his muzzle from the side, it seems to be like in 3 segments. The upper section with a bridge of the nose and nostrils. Under that, his jowl and whiskery section, and on the bottom is the lower jaw. On his outermost layer, be mindful of his distinguished chin beard and natural guy liner. Now that we've gone over that, let's start drawing the tiger. Now that we've captured the face, it's time for the full body shot. I start with the spine of the tiger because the spine is the directional line of the pose. I think of the space Tina will take up from head to tail. Her tail can be gestured for now and adjusted later on. I find her rib cage and pelvis. I draw a light version of the stick figure we went over earlier. I draw her hind leg to the floor and then the front leg. I think of the thickness Tina's legs and torso will take up. Then, I can start marking more details of her outer layer. tiger's stripes are vertical in order to camouflage itself in the grass. The pattern wraps around the arm as the arm changes position. A tiger's stripes are unique, the same as a human fingerprint. On the face, the stripes radiate out in a circular pattern, like ripples from droplets of water. Like I've said before, the absolute best way to go about practicing drawing animals is from real life. But as those of you who may have been to the zoo have disappointingly realized, tigers are solitary, nocturnal, and like to hide. For most of you watching this video is going to be the best option you have access to. I've listed a few cool video references for tigers in the description below. In my werewolf video, I was watching wolves with the purposes of extracting qualities to put into a fictional creature. But here, my purpose is to draw something real, to draw what I'm seeing. I'm not just copying flat forms, I'm constantly analyzing shapes. When I look at the face or body, I turn on my Tron vision to see it as a simple shape. If I look at the tiger's upper lip, I'm trying to figure out how the shape changes into a different shape as his head turns. And then I have to watch as he turns to find out whether my guess is correct or not. Artists that specialize in animals have been prone to studying real animals for hours to observe their movement and weight distribution. Luckily, in our digital age, we can use the internet as a cheat source. Even so, if you have a four-legged animal around the house, why not observe them in their free time? They may not have the same weight distribution of a tiger, but you can watch their pivot points in action and try to familiarize yourself much better with emotions of a four-legged creature.
So practice, perfect, and don't forget the most important thing is to have fun. The more you enjoy the process, the better the outcome's going to be. Also, never forget to stay creative.